From the street, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue projects immovable stability. The sandstone columns and perfectly spaced windows appear exactly as they did a century ago. But behind that iconic facade, the building is fighting a continuous battle. It serves as a private home, a high-security office suite, and a global symbol of power. To manage those competing demands, the interior is in a state of constant churn. In reality, no two presidents have ever occupied the exact same White House. To understand how the building evolves, you have to look past a simple timeline and measure the physical scale of the renovations. At the most basic level, you have cosmetic changes, surface updates like paint and carpets. Step up a level and you find functional changes. This is where crews upgrade infrastructure, run new wiring, or repurpose existing rooms for modern technology. Then there are structural changes. These are massive interventions that alter the building's blueprint, like knocking out load-bearing walls or constructing new wings. The physical scale of the modification dictates the reaction. A functional update might be finished over a quiet weekend, while a structural overhaul can trigger years of intense political debate. The Oval Office is the ultimate testing ground for cosmetic updates, acting as a mirror for a president's specific working habits. Look at Harry Truman's layout. The open floor space right in the middle of the room was a mid-century necessity. Without a dedicated press room in the building, Truman needed that empty space so reporters could crowd directly into his office for briefings. Compare that to a modern layout, like Donald Trump's. The center of the room is filled by a formal meeting space with facing couches. The room transitioned into a staging ground for diplomacy and high-level strategy. As television and digital media exploded, the building had to integrate new, heavy-duty physical infrastructure to support global communications. Richard Nixon found a functional solution in 1970 by looking at Franklin Roosevelt's old indoor swimming pool. Crews drained the pool and packed it with broadcast infrastructure to create the modern press briefing room. These cosmetic and functional tweaks are the everyday lifeblood of the building. They keep the presidency running on modern machinery while leaving the historic shell intact. Eventually, a growing government hits a hard limit. When moving furniture and running new cables isn't enough to run the country, a president is forced to make massive structural interventions. By 1902, Theodore Roosevelt faced a severe spatial crisis. He ordered the construction of a brand new annex, the original West Wing, to physically separate the gears of the executive branch from his family's private quarters. 46 years later, the building reached a critical point of structural decay. Decades of piecemeal updates and added weight left the White House literally on the verge of physical collapse. Harry Truman had to order a radical intervention. Engineers completely gutted the interior, dug new sub-basements, and installed a modern steel frame. They left only the exterior stone wall standing, creating a hollowed-out shell holding up the roof. These massive teardowns are executed out of sheer necessity. They are the only way to keep the headquarters of the American government fully operational. But these massive projects expose an inherent conflict. The White House is a high-tech command center, but it was also legally designated as a National Historic Landmark. When an administration changes the wallpaper, no one notices. When they decide to move walls and dig up the lawn, it sparks a fierce public debate. The 2025 East Wing Ballroom expansion is the prime modern example of this architectural friction. To build a 90,000 square foot permanent event space, crews had to partially demolish the historic East Wing, which had stood since 1942. You can see excavators tearing directly into the historic facade. Preservationists decried the loss of the original 1940s interiors, viewing the removal of historic fabric as a permanent injury to the site's history. The administration countered by pointing to the long legacy of presidents expanding the footprint to meet the demands of the office. It forces a difficult choice. Every major structural modification requires destroying an artifact of the past to build the machinery required for the present. Stepping back to view the entire lifespan of the building allows us to map every modification made since the foundation was laid. This chart visualizes White House renovations. The bottom shows a thick noise floor of minor cosmetic and functional updates. Piercing through are three massive vertical spikes, representing the structural rebuilds of 1902, 1948, and 2025. Massive overhauls occur roughly once every few generations. Every president leaves their stylistic fingerprint on the rooms they occupy, but only a select few are forced to reshape the architecture of the presidency itself. The White House successfully projects an image of unwavering stability to the public, yet its survival relies entirely on its willingness to be ripped apart, rewired, and rebuilt behind those iconic columns. The building is a living organism, engineered to adapt to the future.